Holy smokes.
We're going to get into it, boys.
Man.
All right.
I'll just take my lead. I'm just going to hang out.
I thought you said you were going to take your shirt off. I'm like,
I did too, and I was like,
that's
all right, cool, man.
Darn, we're not even there yet.
Time.
It happens. All right, here we go.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
Special guest this week, only because it's his birthday, Steve Seitner.
Woo! Glad to be here, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
I know, he's excited.
St. Paddy's Day and your birthday?
Yeah.
What?
It's an awesome combination.
I was going to say, what kind of luck that, oh my
Luck
gosh.
of the Irish, I guess.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I know myself, and I can be tempted easy into a good time.
Uh-huh.
So to avoid ruining the day for my entire family, this will be our 8th consecutive year where we actually get up and we leave. We either go to Disney World or Mexico. So
nice.
although it sounds like a lot of fun, it is a family day first for us. So,
that
but
works
God, I
too.
still love it. We have a blast. So
Right on.
Some of my best Irish pub experiences actually have been with Steve Seitner over the years.
Steve Seitner is the first one that introduced me to drinking at work culture. And I was like,
it can be a thing.
yeah.
You just got to do it responsibly.
It is here.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Well, where do we start?
Well, clearly it's our St. Patrick's Day episode.
Yes.
And I think we missed it last year.
Yeah, I mean, did we? I don't know.
Okay,
Sometimes
you're
we
right.
got to take a break.
Yeah.
I think I was Lent. I was dry.
Oh, that's right.
So
That sounds
You
terrible.
did
Yeah.
do that. That was a
Yeah.
bad move.
That was tough, but I did it.
Yeah. I'm glad you're not
Not
doing it
this year.
Good.
So I thought, okay, where are we going to start? Because we've done, multiple years of these shows. And the first thing I thought was, let's just go to Guinness, right?
Yeah.
I looked around, and they had these offerings that I hadn't had before, especially this one I was interested in, because it's made in the United States,
Yeah.
in Baltimore. They have their own brewery and tap room and whole sitch. So we'll get into that today.
So it's made by Guinness.
Yes.
But it's called Open Gate
Yeah.
Brewery.
Mm-hmm. So they have a spot in Baltimore, I think, or outside of Baltimore.
Yeah.
They have a tap room, and I have all that information. So we'll get
Interesting.
into that. But this is fitting because Mr. College Football is here. We'll say Mr. Steven Seitner. And they were on their website. I don't know, did you go to Guinness? Their website? Did you notice all the Notre Dame stuff?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
I've never seen that with another brewery. Straight up, joined up with the college.
Sure.
Buy all your stuff.
Yep.
Buy it Guinness branded with Notre Dame things on it.
I think I might have a little insight as to why that is a
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Oh, look
So
at that.
let me hit you with some of the items I wrote down and the prices.
Okay.
Because this is what I like to do. They had some really cool glassware. Was like, I don't know if embossed is the right word, but the glass was raised up. If that, like when you see a football player and he's got the brand on his arm.
Wow.
It looked like that, but it was in glass. If that makes sense.
Well, this bottle has that, too. If you
Yes,
look
it
at
does.
Yeah.
So it had that on the glassware itself, and
Okay.
it was kind of this style.
Interesting.
of glass. So like, what is that?
Like a
Tall Pilsner, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They had their whole St. Patrick's Day collection, 2023, which changes often. So they had all sorts of clothes and dated, branded with the year and stuff like that. They had the famous toucan, the Guinness toucan, if you've seen that in some of the retro
yes.
ads, wearing the Notre Dame helmet. That was on, they had that shirts and posters.
That's
I think they had a
fun.
10 tacker with that, I think. They had a neon clock that was Notre Dame. Guinness,
You got him.
$250 for that one. If
Why
you got a
not?
man cave,
Sure.
put it down there. This is a little spendy for my taste, and I hate Notre Dame, so I wasn't buying this. But $90 for a sweatshirt. It's like, ugh.
I'll
But
take 4.
there you go. Roll them out. They had bar stools,
Okay.
like actual ones for your bar.
Oh.
One of them had a back, so like little, lumbar support.
Yeah, a little support.
Branded. You're putting your butt right on Notre Dame's logo. Maybe I would do that.
Yes.
$600
Whoa.
for that one.
For one stool?
Yeah, for one.
What's the stool made of?
Gold?
Leprechaun gold.
Nice.
They had a table. So, like at a bar, just a stand-up round top table.
Yeah.
Stand 2 people.
Pub table?
Yep. So those are $738 hairs.
So you can get a whole table for $100 more
Than
than
a
a
stool.
stool.
Yeah. Yep.
The table's not made of gold then.
Okay.
And then they had a cookbook. An official cookbook.
Ah.
And I thought, okay, that's probably more my price range, $33.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to hit on was it was just right in your face,
Yeah.
everywhere, Notre Dame.
There's only so many ways you can make corned beef and cabbage and potatoes and stuff. What else is in this cookbook, I guess? I don't want to
know.
stereotype or anything, but...
So I'm wondering if there's a connection there. So the 2023 college football season kicked off last year with Nebraska playing Northwestern in Dublin, Ireland.
Sure did.
And in 2023, they're doing it again, and it is Notre Dame versus Navy, I believe. So they might be trying to get ahead of that early, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Usually that's a good game for Navy, seems like.
I would imagine, but I'm
has.
imagining being Ireland, they're probably not trying to tout the United States military.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
A couple other things I threw on here. They had coffee. So Guinness branded coffee.
Oh.
And I don't know the metric system, we'll
Okay,
say.
yeah.
There's some of my friends that might know how much a kilogram is. I don't know. But 1 kilogram of coffee was $52. Whoa. Now, I don't know is that 3 pounds? Is that half a pound? These were whole beans, by the way. That makes a difference. But it was Notre Dame Guinness branded coffee. Boom, $52.
1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
That seems like a lot.
That seems like a lot.
That's probably like enough.
$26 a pound.
It's still kind of
That's
it's
like
still
enough
pricey.
beans for maybe 4 cups for you.
Yeah, that's true.
You like it?
I call
dark
that
coffee.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to spend a lot of money for that. Open Gate Brewery, 5001 Washington Boulevard, Halethorpe, Maryland.
Halethorpe.
Yes,
It's like a suburb of Baltimore.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Open Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are they brewing the rest of the days? Or
Or they're just not open. Maybe it's in a very touristy neighborhood, perhaps.
Maybe.
Thursday 3 to 10, Friday 12 to 10, Saturday 11 to 10, and Sunday 11 to 9. They have a tap room there. It's got an outside beer garden. It had a ton of food. Looked really good, like a chef. We're not talking line cooks, probably. Maybe
No.
we are, but
Yeah.
here's some of the things they had that sounded pretty good. There were no prices on the menu, so that's usually a
It's a pretty good indicator.
pump
that
the
you-
brakes
yeah,
for old Bri
yeah,
usually when I see that.
or you're in the right place.
Or it could be that too. Depends on who's paying. Signature brown bread. Guinness. You ever had Guinness beer bread
So
or whatever?
good.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With some
And the
butter.
balsamic vinegar, a little dip it.
They had that.
Oof.
They had it right there. Curry butternut squash soup.
Ooh. Are you a curry fan?
Not really.
No.
Does something to my stomach that I'm not real happy
I
with.
bet it's a sweeter curry.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm signed in. I'm eating it.
You like the curry?
I love curry.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Old Bay wings,
I love Old Bay.
which makes sense, Maryland, right?
Absolutely.
Old Bay all day.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had this, a sandwich I would happily try. The crab cake sandwich.
Oh, yum.
Never seen that as a sandwich. But again, no prices. So
Feels like a lot of bread. Crab cakes in bread.
soaked in bread, drinking bread.
I wonder if the
Drinking
crab
bread.
cakes are actually the bread.
Like the KFC sandwich. That's
Like,
two
yeah,
chicken
where it's
breasts.
two chicken.
Oh.
That's coming back, by the way. I saw on the internet.
the
Is it
double
really?
down?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been the first time in 10 years.
Take it.
Here's some of the beers brewed at this place, right?
Okay.
So here's the question. Do they brew some of the beers in Ireland, and which ones do they brew here?
Sure.
They brew, and these are some that you can find. Sometimes I've seen a couple of these around, but maybe closer to Maryland you'll find more of them.
Okay.
They have a blonde, I guess, Guinness blonde.
I've seen this.
That's
I've seen
5?
it in stores, actually.
Okay, so it's 5%.
Yep.
They have a milk stout that's 5.3. They have a Belgian wit, which I'd be interested to try because you don't see those a lot anymore.
Oh.
That's 5%. They have an IPA. I don't know about that. 6.5%. It says it's a mix of West and East Coast styles. So
It
maybe
is
it's
a
a
mix
mountain
of
stand.
not drink it ever again.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Sorry. And I am a Guinness fan, by the way.
Well, it's another one of those things. Like we talk about this all the time. Breweries have an identity, right?
Yeah.
And I think Guinness has kind of had their identity as stouts, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
darker beers.
Well, but I think even beyond this group of I will say better than average beer connoisseurs, I think we all understand and respect one of the beautiful things about beer is everybody has a different palate, right?
Sure.
Just because I don't like it, I guarantee you there's people out there that love it.
It could be their favorite IPA.
Absolutely.
And then the last one that they make there is the El Dorado Amber Ale.
Beautiful beer, by the way.
Eldorado
So-
hops, I assume.
Yes. And so those are like the, I don't want to say standard, but just the ones that they make all the time, right? So this one's brewed there as well. This was not on their website. They had a couple different cocktail-inspired beers. What are we thinking of this one?
It's a strong, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
assume that's the style. Is that's how a
Yes,
strong ale?
And it also is strong because it's 10.8%.
Yowzer.
You taste every bit of the 10.8%. I think
Yeah.
this beer is absolutely delicious, but it is not a more than one kind of a
No,
beer.
no. Yeah.
True.
And
Yeah,
in
it's-
fact, I know
it's
we
a
don't have the
sipper for
cameras on.
sure, yeah.
Between the four of us, we are sharing 2 bottles. So it is, and a half a pour is probably about enough.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I
It's
like
delicious.
that cherry. That's really what I'm getting a lot of.
I'm getting a lot of orange.
I get the orange too.
yeah,
there
a lot
you
of
go.
orange. I don't know.
He gets
Yeah,
the wood.
I get the barrel.
See,
Yeah,
I knew
see?
it. He'd get the wood. here's the Dublin only beers. The Guinness, straight up Guinness.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The extra stout, that's 5.6. And then the foreign extra stout, which they pump up the ABV for us foreigners when they send it over, that's 7.5%. The extra stout, the 5.6 one, that's the recipe from 1829. Or
Dang.
1821, I found out.
Wow.
Which is, almost 200 years old.
Yeah.
That's older than any brewery here in the United States.
Yeah, I count myself amongst the fortunate few. In 2022, me and 3 of my closest friends got the chance to actually go over to Ireland, and it was mainly a golf trip, but there's no way in heck I was getting on that plane and coming back to the States without actually going to Guinness. So it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. And part of the tour, like a lot of great tours, is you get up to this beautiful room on the top. It's a circular room. You have one of the most beautiful views in all of Dublin, and you just have beer that you get to drink, and they have every variation of Guinness that they are actively making available to you up in that room.
Can I ask? Every time I've heard of somebody going there, they say the beer tastes so much different, but it's different.
I would say it. My memory's already a year old, right? So I'm fading, but I'm getting there. My thought process is going into it. Guinness was not my favorite beer in the world, right?
Sure.
I get over there and it is awesome, right? But you're probably caught up in that like tourist vibe. It's
Sure.
really good. Like all the feels are hitting you. You're with some of
history,
your
yeah.
closest friends, all of that stuff, right? But now I come back to the States and I drink it, and I drink it regularly. You will always find Guinness at my house right now. And I do think it's a very enjoyable beer now. I would also say part of that is tied to just the reference, the memories. Every time I open a Guinness, when I hear that like nitrogen pop of a can,
Yeah.
like I immediately just think about that trip and the good times I had with some close friends. So for me,
That sound.
That one.
that's it. That's the sound. So
That's
for me,
the
it is
sound.
not just the beer; it is the memories that
That's
come
the
with
sound my stomach makes with the curry.
Oh.
Same,
Same
same sound.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with a little history on the cocktail, the old fashioned, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought that kind of made sense for us to do. You ever had the drink? Is this one of your favorites? Anybody?
I'm trying.
Yeah?
I really am.
The old fashioned. Just so I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
The first time I ever had one, it was my very first Atlas MedStaff meet and greet
Oh boy.
with Aaron Biddle. When Aaron Biddle was still a recruiter, we went down to St. Louis, and it was over the Kentucky Derby. So we went to a Kentucky Derby bar. It was the first time I tried mint julep, and the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time I had an old fashioned.
Gross.
And both times I was like,
Why?
why?
Why? The mint julep is the one that gets me. Like,
Yeah, old fashioned's not bad. I've had better ones since, but
Yeah.
first reaction, nah.
I think old fashions are a fantastic drink.
Yeah.
But I think some people choose whiskey at times because they think it's a healthy alternative to drinking beer.
Sure, yeah.
When you start pouring all the sugar into an old fashioned,
Yep.
you might as well just be drinking the beer. Yes, it might be less volume. Yes, it doesn't have the carbonation. But anybody thinking that they are drinking old fashions because it's a whiskey drink and they're doing it to be more body friendly is absolutely fooling themselves. But I do fancy myself an old fashioned. But for me, there is one key component, and everybody kind of handles it a little bit different.
Okay,
like
what is it?
The rind of an orange, like how they handle that. For me, you gotta light it on fire. You gotta heat it up. You gotta get the oils coming out, and you gotta twist it and run the orange around the rim of the glass before you drop it in.
Why
a
the
lot
twist?
of people just the twist gets the oil coming
Okay.
out. Like almost like a wet towel. You kind of get that last little bit
sure,
of water out of
okay.
it. You twist the orange, it gets the oils out, then you rub the rim of the glass. So every time you go take a drink, you get the smell of the citrus. And the nose on almost any drink is a significant portion of the flavor, right?
sure.
Yeah.
So for me, if an old fashioned just has a lump of orange peel in the glass,
You're like, this ain't
and
a
it's
blue
not
moon.
twisted,
Get out of here.
Bail.
it's to me immediately going to be half
Yep.
of what I was hoping for.
Isn't that Steve Ryan's favorite
It is.
mixed
No,
drink?
it is a Manhattan.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
does
right.
like Manhattans, too.
Manhattan. You're right.
He'll drink the old fashioned quite often.
Yeah.
Sounds like he likes mixed drinks.
He was a
Nailed it.
he was a gin and tonic man for a
Oh,
long
those are
time.
good, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of talked about it, but it is whiskey with bitters and sugar, which you mentioned. Usually, back in the old days, it was a sugar cube or multiple cubes, depending on how sweet you liked it. Orange peel. First referenced in 1806. But that's what all cocktails were called back then. So kind of like call a Coke, a Pepsi, or whatever in the South.
Sure, yeah.
Every mixed drink back then was called an old-fashioned.
No way.
What?
And it wasn't
That's a
until
neat tidbit.
a little bit later on that changed. When you'd go to the bar and you'd order one, they would give you all the ingredients and then you would pour it yourself.
Oh.
And that's how people like to do it.
It's very European.
1860s, the most popular way to drink anything was with water, right?
Okay.
So like just straight booze, water, a little bit of bitters, and this new thing, sugar. Everybody was loving that stuff. Probably not great on the teeth, but whatever. 1882, there's a Chicago bartender, and he was in the paper, and they were asking him about, what's popular, and he said rye whiskey. So a rye whiskey, old fashioned. That was in Chicago in the 1880s. That's what you would be drinking. Louisville is where they say this kind of came from. So there's this guy, I love the name, James E. Pepper. Perfect for a guy from Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
He was at this thing called the Pendennis Club, not Pandemic, but Pendennis. And it was like a social club, guys only sort of, hangout spot. Smoke your stogies and drink your drinks.
Sure.
Created this drink there, they say. It's one of those things like, well, where did buffalo wings come from? That sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Then he took the recipe to a place called the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. Heard of that?
Heard of it.
Yeah. And they say, hey, we came up with this drink. And they're like, well, actually, maybe the guy made it in this other place and brought it here, but,
Sure.
Whatever.
Yep.
But Louisville claims it. They have a festival, a 2-week festival every year for this drink.
In Louisville?
Yeah. So, like, we have Beer Fest, right? They're like
Yeah.
a day. This was like, 2 weeks. It's called Old Fashioned Fortnight. It is
All
the
right.
official city cocktail of Louisville. Does Omaha have a probably a
Busch
PBR or
Busch Light.
I don't know.
Busch Light.
Could be Malort lately. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
around.
that's all over.
It is hard for me to sit there and hear New York and Kentucky and say New York is the home of any bourbon or whiskey based
Right.
drink
No,
over
Yeah.
Kentucky.
over Kentucky.
Not knowing the actual history or what actually happened, I'm giving Kentucky the credit for
All
it.
right, I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, maybe Manhattan came from New York.
But there you go.
Oh, look at the
see
big
us, but
brain
we're
on
touching
Dolan.
knuckles there. That was well done, sir.
The first printed recipe for this was in 1895 in a book called Modern American Drinks, which you can still find on the internet. I looked at it.
Okay.
Here's how they tell you to make it. Dissolve a lump of sugar in water, add 2 dashes of bitters, a piece of ice, lemon peel, and 1 jigger of whiskey, which is 1.5 ounces.
Okay.
Then you take your spoon and you mix them all together
stir it,
and you let it
yeah.
sit for about 2.5 minutes. So 2.5.
Okay.
And then you enjoy. And
So
that's
back
how
then
you
they were
make them.
doing no ice, huh? No mention of
one
ice?
piece and lemon instead of orange.
I missed that
which
part.
seems strange. But yeah, that's how they did it back in the day. Has anybody had this one yet?
It's so good.
Let's talk about it. Guinness Nitro Cold Brew. What do you think?
I'm not a fan. And I should be.
Really?
I absolutely should be.
I
Do
feel
you
like
generally not like cold brew coffee?
I don't generally like cold brew coffee.
Because that's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
I feel like it tastes like a shot of espresso.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
It had that fun nitro effect in the glass when I poured it. It smells great.
I think it is a
4%.
fantastically drinkable
Yeah.
cocktail, beverage, beer.
These would be good for tailgates.
Yeah, I could do that.
Especially
morning?
early morning, cold.
Yeah, like an 11
little
o'clock
crisp in the
game.
air still.
Yeah. Except for Rich.
Dude, you could drink this with like a little bowl of vanilla ice cream.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
You could make a sundae out of it.
A
You
beer
could.
float.
A float.
I tell you, it just needs a little sugar. I put a little sugar in my coffee. Maybe that's what I'm missing.
You put sugar in your coffee?
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little
Monster?
just a little spoonful. Yeah, not very much, but just a little bit.
I mean, it's pretty bitter. That's for sure. The
His coffee
in
or
his-
this beer?
This beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like a good dark coffee too. So
Yeah.
By the way, Rich makes the strongest coffee in the office every day. So
Yeah.
Spoon will stand
you've
up
lost
straight.
credibility in the fact that you
know.
put sugar in it.
No.
He messed up the brand team not too long ago. A couple of us went and got a cup of coffee, and it was Rich's coffee, and we're like downing water the rest of the day because it was
so strong.
so strong.
I want to be able to hear colors after I drink like 2 or 3 cups. Of
You know,
coffee.
they make drugs for that.
But nowhere near your death chip challenge, right?
No.
Not
Let's
that
not talk
messed
about that. That lasted 3 days.
All right.
I love being a part of this. Thanks for the invite, guys. I was going to say, this is a heck of a day to jump in here.
So let's talk about St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, hit it.
a little
Because
bit.
I've got a little bit left that is St. Patrick's themed. So I'm going to let you
Interesting.
flap the gums, and I'm going to drink some of these beers.
So let's talk about just in general. Where did St. Patrick come from? So St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of St. Patrick, is a cultural and religious celebration held on March 17th, the traditional death date of St. Patrick. Born in 385, died in 461.
That's pretty old.
That's pretty
for
old.
a guy
That's a
back
long
then.
life
Yes.
back then. That's a long
That's
life
2
today.
or 3 lives. Yeah.
St. Patrick was made an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century and is observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, that'd be the Church of Ireland, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland and celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general.
Okay.
Which is weird because the more research I did, the further I dug in,
Yeah.
the more they're pushing back. The Irish are pushing back against some of the stereotypes a little
Yep.
bit. They've taken some of it and made it like so green in St. Patrick's, you
Yeah.
know, and or whatever, and turned that into like green initiatives to change
Like environmental stuff?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. How Ireland approaches, certain environmental initiatives and that type of thing. So they're trying to do some good with it rather than just eating and drinking beer all day.
They're basically kind of fighting back against the commercialization of their sacredness.
That's
right?
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all kind of just pissed off at the commercialization of St. Patrick's Day. But
So they're mad at us.
yeah.
But the consumerism's got to be.
it's huge
Great for
them.
everybody
It's
else,
It's got to be
right?
great for their local
Right.
economy, too.
Right.
I mean, a bucket list item for me is
For
to
sure.
spend that day at some point over there in Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see. St. Patrick was born in the 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary. So he was a missionary
Okay.
in the beginning. Much of what is known about St. Patrick comes from the Declaration, which was in a book written by St. Patrick himself. It's believed that he was born in Roman Britain in the 4th century into a wealthy Romano-British family. So Roman-British mixed family. His father was a deacon. His grandfather was a priest in the Catholic Church, in the Christian Church. According to the Declaration, at age 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken to a slave Gaelic island. So he's kidnapped,
Yeah.
and he spent
How long?
4 years.
Was that when he got rid of the
6
snakes?
years. That's coming.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's coming.
All right, all right.
So he spent 6 years there, worked as a shepherd, and during that time, he found God. And then God talked to him and said, "You should flee, go back to your homeland." And that's when he went back and he became a priest. So because of that, that's where we get the allegory that he drove the snakes out
That's
of
right.
Ireland or whatever.
Yeah.
The snakes are I guess, allegory for like demons or evil or,
Sure.
whatever. There was actually no
You're basically
record.
saying it didn't happen.
And there's no record of snakes in
There's never-
actual snakes.
There's I know this because my son loves these sort of shows and stuff. There's been one fatality by a snake bite in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a pet snake. Attacked somebody.
Somebody had a venomous
Yeah.
snake they bought and smuggled in.
And it bit him, and he died. So
Yeah,
there's-
I
they don't
kinda-
have antidote. They don't have anything like that.
I sit there
in
and think,
Ireland.
if you're afraid of snakes, probably poisonous spiders, Ireland's probably a pretty safe place for you. You're
think so.
probably not going to run into
Yeah.
these things.
I think you're right.
Yep. So this is what I was referring to. It's just isn't about drinking anymore for them, or just eating, right? I
Well,
know it's kind
I
of disappointing.
guess.
Since 2010, famous landmarks have been lit up green on St. Patrick's Day as part of tourism in Ireland, the Global Greening Initiative, or Going Green for St. Patrick's Day. The Sydney Opera House and the Sky Tower in Auckland were the first landmarks to participate, and since over 300 landmarks across the country, across 50 countries, and across the globe, have gone green for St. Patrick's Day. So either turned green initiatives, changing kind of the way they utilize energy and that
I like
type
that.
of thing. So why do you wear green on St. Patrick's Day? Do you
Because
know?
if you don't, you'll get pinched.
No, that's true. That's what you're told, right?
I was pinched.
I know, a lot.
And I would lie and say, I have green on my underwear.
I was just gonna
I
say,
didn't
guys,
show 'em.
I promised my underwear is green.
I got green.
I'm sure it
I
is
got-
a little
Dude, I
bit.
do a lot of pinching. I got
Oh my
carpal-
gosh, they are.
I got carpal
His
tunnel
underwear
from
is green.
pinching. I love
you
to
go.
throw a pinch here and there.
He's a pincher.
I'll get you.
I got green drawers on.
Well, you got a green shirt on. You didn't have to show the drawers, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
actually
I mean, whatever.
That's a really good point. He is
Whatever.
literally. I know we're on mic. He is wearing a green hooded sweatshirt here.
Yeah.
It's not quite green. It's
It's green.
It's a
Great-
green. It's
great
a greenish.
100 out of 100 say green.
Probably right. On St. Patrick's Day, it's customary to wear shamrocks, green clothing, or green accessories. St. Patrick is said to have used the shamrock, a three-pointed plant, to explain the Holy Trinity to the pagan Irish.
Makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
creative. I
So,
like
so
it.
where's
was
the
already there.
Where's
Use
the
what you got.
four-leaf clover from?
That's why you're lucky. You get an
just
extra
luck.
one.
Because you just get an so there's a.
There's an extra angel or something out
I
there.
don't know.
Sure.
I was gonna say
Yep.
there's one right on the wall right behind
That's where, if you get a 4-leaf, that's the beer.
Oh.
The Trinity, the Holy Trinity, and then the Guinness is
And
the
then the
fourth
Guinness.
one. Yep.
Yep.
That's how that works.
you. A little
out.
gift.
from the heavens.
The first association of the color green with Ireland is from a legend in the 11th century. Lebur Gabala Ernan.
Yep, that's
Maybe
exactly
next time
right.
you should practice that one or
Nope.
twice before you go live.
Bergala Urban.
It's actually called the Book of Talking Ireland. The book is how it translates. The Book of Talking Ireland. Oh, there you go.
They talked about green.
Yep. The color green was further associated with Ireland from the 1640s when the green harp flag was used by the Irish Catholic Confederation. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is.
Irish Catholic Confederation.
Okay.
Later, James Connolly described the flag as representing the sacred emblem of Ireland's unconquered soul.
So there's a little harp right there on the old Guinness.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, he got to do the
That's a
sound.
great
Wow.
sound. All right, so I got a little bit else. How do other countries celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
Right on.
Because we all celebrate it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So let's go all around the world.
All around the world.
See, there it is.
There's our placeholder. Yes.
Okay, England, because they're right there, right?
Yeah.
In England, the British royals traditionally present bowls of shamrocks to members of the Irish Guards, a regiment in the British Army, following Queen Alexandra's introduction of the tradition in 1901.
Bowl of
A
shamrocks.
bowl of shamrocks.
Wow, thanks.
No, it doesn't say if they're edible or not.
I
But,
was gonna say, do they put like some Caesar dressing on them and crush?
or is it like Lucky Charms? I don't know. I'm trying to like this beer. I'm getting back into it. Russia. The first St. Patrick's Day parade in Russia took place in 1992.
Okay, recent adopter.
Sure.
After the wall.
After the wall came down, they're a little more open to it. maybe.
Party time.
Since 1999, there have been yearly St. Patrick's Day festivals in Moscow and other Russian cities. The official part of Moscow's parade is a military-style parade, shocker, and is held in collaboration with the Moscow government and the Irish embassy in Moscow. The unofficial parade is held by volunteers and resembles a carnival.
I bet they're voluntold.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's happening in 2023.
Maybe not.
Canceled.
We'll find out.
Yep. Scotland, because they're so close, right? I
Yeah.
Yeah.
very
Close, but different.
highly associated.
Yeah.
maybe.
Very contestuous too. The rivalry between those two
right.
countries.
I would think so. Yeah.
Well,
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because isn't Gordon Ramsay Scottish? Am I wrong about
I think
that?
he's British.
I thought he's
thought.
British.
No, that he gets mad about that.
Yeah.
He gets mad about everything.
He's like, I'm not British. I am Scottish.
Where was Gordon Ramsay born?
You don't have to say Surrey.
Gordon Ramsay was born in Johnstone.
South
Johnstone.
Africa?
No, I
That's
think
Johannesburg.
I think that's Joan.
Ask what is
Jonesboro.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Dolan was
yeah.
right.
Dolan gets the prize pupil hat of the meeting.
Don't question Dolan on his chef knowledge.
I watch so much food TV, guys.
We should have known.
2 for 2 today. Good job. Glasgow, Scotland has a considerably large Irish population, due for the most part to the Irish immigration during the 19th century. This immigration was the main cause in raising the population of Glasgow by over 100,000 people. Due to the large Irish population, there are many Irish-themed pubs and interest groups that hold yearly celebrations in the city. So, nothing special, just a ton of them.
Just a ton of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Lithuania. That was an interesting one.
Okay.
Although it's not a national holiday in Lithuania, the Vilna, Vilnia, Vilnia?
Is that the creature from Stranger Things?
Close, no.
You're-
I
you
think
are
that's
close,
Vecna,
yeah.
but you're close.
Oh, yeah.
Close. Is dyed green, the Vecna River. Look at that. I just
The
said.
Vecna River. Usually it's red.
That's
blood
my bad.
red.
Green on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, boy.
It's dyed green every year on St. Patrick's Day in the capital of Vilnius.
Yeah,
Sorry
Vilnius.
to our Lithuanian friends there.
Didn't they have a great basketball team in the 90s?
Lithuania?
Yeah. Like Olympics. Didn't they almost beat us?
Maybe.
Not my strength.
Like in 92? I feel like the dream team had to really
Oh, with a
pull
hard
up their
time with
britches.
Lithuania.
Yeah. I don't know.
They,
That's some research I'll have to do.
I just got a brand new couch from Lithuania.
Oh,
It's green.
of course it is.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out where that plane was landing. Well done. I like how you worked that in.
All right.
That's
Seriously, hey, it's Sam and I's first like brand new couch as a couple, so I feel like it's a milestone, right?
Sure.
It's a big moment.
Your first new
Growing
couch?
up.
Yeah,
Growing
That's a
up.
big. That's a big deal.
Every other couch has been like Facebook
down.
Marketplace, hand me down, whatever.
Yep.
This is like, I bought it over at that
Oh, with that thing you went to?
yeah,
in
thing
in
you
North
went to,
Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
yeah.
Did you allow yourself to eat on this couch?
I haven't yet.
See, that's when you know it's a special one.
Yeah.
You got to live in it, man.
Well, here's
Are the
the thing.
dogs allowed on it?
The dogs are allowed on it.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, they've already got their own dents on the
Of course they do.
because the window's right behind it, so they like to perch up
They're
there.
on it more than you are.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I bet they're on it right now.
I'm sure they are.
Yep.
And you're at work,
Yep.
making it all possible.
Finally, Canada. So you wouldn't think
I wouldn't think there's a lot of Irish in Canada, but
one of the longest running and largest St. Patrick's Day parades in North America occurs in Montreal, whose flag includes a shamrock in its lower right quadrant. The yearly celebration has been organized by the United Irish Societies of Montreal since 1929. The parade has been held yearly without interruption since 1824.
holy cow.
St. Patrick itself, however, has been St. Patrick's Day itself has been celebrated in Montreal since as far back as 1759 by Irish soldiers in the Montreal garrison following the British conquest of New France.
Isn't Montreal French?
It's very French,
Right?
Yeah.
So for almost 200 years.
Yep.
Wow.
In Toronto, there's been a parade since 1863. That was interesting. That's
Okay.
I wonder why. It's closer across the ocean, I guess, I suppose, to
maybe?
Canada.
I don't know. That's a good question. And finally, the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team
Yeah.
was known from 1919 to 1927 as the Toronto St. Patricks. The actual hockey team was known as the St.
I
Patricks.
did not know that.
Did not know that either.
Were they green?
They wore green jerseys.
Hell yeah.
In 1999, when the Maple Leafs played on St. Patrick's Day, they wore green St. Patrick's retro uniforms.
That's pretty retro.
Yeah.
80 years ago.
Jeez.
Are they still green? I mean,
No,
the
they're
Maple
blue,
Leafs
right?
would
Maple Leafs
be-
are blue.
Yeah,
Why
Which
don't
doesn't
they
make
do
any
that
sense.
every year?
I know.
that's
You
interesting.
think that they'd play a game
Yeah.
on that?
Is there any NHL games in Ireland? Have they ever done an outside game there? Do we
Like
know?
the NFL kind of
Yeah,
right
yeah,
into
yeah.
Europe?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's almost like United States NHL, and I am by no means the expert on hockey, but it's like hockey is way bigger over in Europe.
Yeah.
I think they're almost like they've got leagues that are so much more important to them than ours.
yeah.
I don't think they have maybe the draw
Sure.
of the local United States NHL to come over there.
I gotcha.
Like they do our NBA or our NFL.
Sure.
To them, they kind of look down at our level of hockey, I believe, in some capacity.
That's not pro.
So I don't think that they'd be very impressed with us rolling over there.
Can't even fight anymore. No good.
No, it's no good.
You know what's fun to do on St. Patrick's Day?
What?
Fight.
Well, yeah.
You know what else is fun?
Okay.
To get a Shamrock Shake.
Oh no.
That's where we're going, y'all.
Yeah.
Do it.
Dolan, you don't like them?
I love
No.
them.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't.